45. So we have a capillary tube like this, right? And beaker like so. The height that has climbed is 8 millimeters, and the total height from here to here is 40 millimeters, right? Yeah. So first they're asking if it's moving downwards is an acceleration of 5 ms minus 2. And then next, falling freely. If this goes with an acceleration downwards of 5 and then falling freely, what's going to happen? You know this equation. If I consider capital R as the radius of the tube and simple r as radius of the meniscus, I can say this. The height that it climbs, the capillary rise h, is equal to what? 2t over capital R rho g, and here we have a cos theta term. If it is what? Radius of the tube. Also I can say height h is equal to what? 2t over what? Simple r rho g, and simple r is what? Radius of the meniscus, right? Yeah. Now if the contact angle is 0, then cos 0 is 1, therefore h is equal to 2t over capital R rho g, right? Yeah. Now listen, this contact angle doesn't change until this instant. What's that instant? Until it just starts to overflow, right? So till we go to height and till we start to overflow, it doesn't change, right? It changes once you've reached the maximum height, right? So listen, now we can say this. Look at this equation. Let's see. We can say 2t over capital R is equal to what? H rho g divided by what? Cos theta, right? Cos theta doesn't change. I can take cos theta here then, right? Yep. Cos theta doesn't change till the final maximum height. Now they mentioned moving downwards an acceleration of 5 ms minus 2. Now when you go down in a lift with an acceleration of what? 5 ms minus 2. Now downwards acceleration is what? 10 ms minus 2 due to gravity. Then using what? Relative acceleration, we can say what's the acceleration downwards? It's what? 5 ms minus 2, right? Yeah. Now when you go down in a lift, you feel like your weight, you are losing your weight. If it goes under gravity, I have 10 due to gravity, right? And 10 due to my acceleration. So then the resultant acceleration is what? 0, right? So remember those ideas. Okay. Now under gravity, what is the height that it has climbed? 8 millimeters, right? So under gravity, it has climbed a height of 8 millimeters. But now I'm going to make the acceleration equal to half of the gravity, right? Gravity was 10. Now I'm going down with an acceleration of 5 ms minus 2. Then the resultant acceleration is 5 ms minus 2, 10 minus 5, right? Then it's like gravity is becoming half, right? So the gravity term becomes half. If this becomes half, the height should be twice, right? Because cos theta times 2t over r term doesn't change. This term doesn't change. Don't write these things, right? Let's save time. If this term doesn't change, right? You can understand that cos theta doesn't change until we reach the maximum height. 2t over r, right? So if gravity becomes half the value, actually gravity, nothing happens to gravity, but the acceleration is what we put here, right? It becomes half of gravity, then the height should be twice to get the same h rho g term as before. Is that clear? Right, then what happens is twice the height. Now what's the previous height? 8 millimeters. Now what's the height? 16 millimeters. When we go down with an acceleration of what? 5 ms minus 2, right? So don't write anything. You can do these questions mentally. But next, now keep this term like this. So we have h rho g. H rho g. Okay. Now I'm going down freely, which means I'm going under gravity. If I'm going under gravity, what can you say? G is 0. The value here is 0. The acceleration is 0. Then what's going to happen? Height is infinite, right? Because cos theta times 2t over r divided by what? Rho g is equal to h. So gravity goes to what? 0. When I'm talking acceleration goes to 0, therefore g term goes to 0. Then height goes to infinity. What do you mean by height goes to infinity? What happens is the liquid column climbs up to what? 40 millimeters. And then what happens is the cos theta term changes accordingly. So the contact angle has to change, right? So that's what's going to happen. So then the height that it goes up to next is what? 40 millimeters. So the next answer is what? 40 millimeters when it's falling freely. So the answer is the fifth one.